Just through here. It's where we saw the shadow figure when I was here with Mark all them years ago.
Again, I heard noise, but this time it was from in front of me.
Is there anyone there?
Okay, a very, very loud bang.
Can you hear my voice? Are you here?
Even Poison manufactured record.
Yes, sir.
Go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Here we go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Here we go.
It's like a light is in my face, but I can't fall for you. I close my eyes and drift away. I've overdosed on you. Cause then you wake up dead one day.
Hidden away in a woodland in a quiet countryside stands what was once a top secret operations centre. Deepdene World War II communications bunker. In the early 1650s, Charles Howard, fourth son of Henry Frederick Howard, Earl of Arundel, acquired the area known as Deepdene Estate in Dorking. Charles, a keen plantsman, devoted nearly all of his time and fortune in laying out gardens on levelled platforms which he furnished with a wide range of plants, wildflowers and grottos. In 1671, Howard acquired another piece of land to the south of the Deepdene, and there built a house. This land was known originally as Bride's Hills and later the Vineyard. Howard had intended to build a tunnel through the ridge to join the two parts of the property, but this collapsed during construction. He studied natural history and conducted chemical science and experiments in his laboratory, which was a series of natural caves and tunnels within the gardens. Charles made significant progress in describing and illustrating plant anatomy, and the development of microscopes both stimulated and aided his studies. At the outbreak of the war in 1939, the Southern Railway Company realised that its headquarters in London at Waterloo were vulnerable to enemy bombs, and a direct hit may cripple the entire network, taking out telephone services, traffic control, and hundreds of staff. As an emergency measure, the railway company purchased the recently closed Deepdene mansion and gardens. As well as being far away from the aerial bombardment of the capital, Deepdene had the advantage of good transport links and the extensive system of sandstone tunnels originally used by Charles Howard as his laboratory. These tunnels were enlarged and strengthened with brick concrete in 1941, and the Southern Railway constructed their underground telephone exchange and traffic control centre, hidden from the air and protected from the steep banks of earth, 4 feet of concrete slabs with a structure 70 feet underground. The bunker housed 30 staff. The accommodation included a control room, meeting facilities, a backup battery room in case of power failure, a bedroom for the night officer, and a fully equipped telephone switchboard with a distribution frame and connections to the various divisional traffic engineering offices across the country. On several occasions, Winston Churchill visited the top-secret Deepdene bunker for confidential meetings. A 99-foot mast for emergency radio transmissions was installed on the outside of the tunnel system, with anti-aircraft guns located on the garden terraces. Other developments included a rifle range used by the railway's own Home Guard detachment, with anti-tank obstacles protecting the entire area. The railway operation for the transport of nearly 320,000 troops returning from Dunkirk was coordinated from here, as was the moving of supplies and troops prior to D-Day. The bunker was closed and abandoned in 1966, having survived the 19th century and 2 world wars, and the house was then demolished in 1969. Deepdene was then auctioned off. Some of the surrounding area went to the local council, and other areas become a golf course. The whole location, including the caves and tunnel systems, were then sealed, forgotten, and hidden away by overgrown trees and bushes until they were rediscovered in 1997. The only access point is through Entrance 1. Entrance 2 and Entrance 3 are now bricked up. The rear escape exit, with its 79 steps to the surface nearly 100 feet above ground, has been sealed. To this day, there are reports of voices, shadow figures, and unexplained noises that are heard coming from within the bunker. On our last investigation to the bunker a few years ago, Mark and I encountered the paranormal activity. Here is some of the evidence that we captured. Don't make it obvious, but as you're talking, there's something walking up closer down this this long tunnel just behind me, and I can hear it moving. I could hear the crackling of the dirt under the feet. So just carry on as you was.
So as I was saying, is there any soldiers in here trying to get us out of this facility? Because it would have been top secret and we would have needed top secret clearance to be down here. So is there any soldiers down here who want us out? There would have been civilian people down here working for Southern Railway. Obviously, you weren't allowed to tell anyone where you were coming to work. Was that hard on you? And
Heard that.
so did I. Obviously, you weren't allowed to tell anyone where you were coming to work. Was that hard on you? And
Heard that.
so did I.
It's following us around.
I can hear tapping, scraping.
It's following us around.
What's that? Someone got thrown at you, didn't it?
No, it's just...
It's got freezing round me. Real bad. Right, Jeff. Can I just show what it's like in here?
Hold on. Don't move. Do not move at all. Right, the shadow figure came from out of that passageway. I saw it as it moved along the wall here, and it must have carried on down the tunnel. We're just going to collect our things now and go, and we won't disturb you anymore.
Okay.
As Phil has never been to the bunker before, I give him a tour of the location. We then set up several pieces of equipment. A REM pod is placed in the main tunnel walkway to the escape hatch. In what was once the control room, we place a 360-degree motion monitor that will alarm if it detects any movement. In the main tunnel to entrance 1, we have a laser grid that is activated by movement, and this is being filmed by one of our cameras. And in front of this is a paralight which will detect any EMF and operates in the same way as a K2 meter. In the main tunnel to the escape hatch, we have our static cam 1. And our static cam 2 is what was once entrance 2, which is just outside the telephone exchange room. This is also facing what was the night officer's quarters and towards entrance 1. With all of these areas covered and the location completely locked down, we are now ready to start the investigation at Deepdene top secret World War II communications bunker. We make our way to where entrance 2 is located, just outside what was once the telephone exchange room.
We're here in the Deepdene shelter, which was used during the Second World War by the Southern Railway. They used it as a control centre. Originally, where we're standing was natural caves, but they built it up with brick and steel to reinforce it. As I say, they used it as their control centre, their control room. So I'm going to ask if there are any spirits here that were connected with the Southern Railway. If you're here, please could you come and join us and let us know you're here. Come and approach us. You might be wondering what we're doing. I mean, this place is open. People do come down here, but you may not have seen people come down here as we have today, setting up our equipment. Now, the equipment we've got is just to help us communicate with you and for us to help us see you. So I'll ask you, let us know you're here. You might be suspicious of us, so I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Phil, and the gentleman standing in front of me now is Jeff. What's your name? Now it's very quiet down here. It's deathly quiet. So it really won't take you too much to shout your name to me. So could I ask you again to shout your name? This little device I'm holding, if you talk into it, it'll help us hear you. What did you do here? There's noise coming from down behind us. Behind me. Could I ask you again, what did you do here? What was your purpose? Again, I heard noise, but this time it was from in front of me. Come and join me, please.
Phil hears a noise which is in the direction of static cam 1, and when we review the audio, there are footsteps, and also just before the footsteps there is a voice.
Could I ask you again, what did you do here? What was your purpose? Again, I heard noise, but this time it was from in front of me. Could I ask you again, what did you do here? What was your purpose? Again, I heard noise, but this time it was from in front of me.
We end our first session and move on to the area just outside the main control room. So we're standing in what was the meeting room of the secret bunker. Now, as this location was top secret, you must be maybe annoyed that we're standing here. If you don't want us here, can you approach us and ask us to leave? Now, before the military took over these caves and extended them, there was a gentleman. His name was Charles Howard. And he used these caves as a laboratory. So Charles, first of all, can you hear my voice? Are you here? We knew that you had nice gardens outside and grew all these different exotic plants and wildflowers. And then eventually you built the house, Deepdene house. But what did you do inside these caves? Who's in charge here? Who's looking after this place? As I am carrying out an EVP session, we are capturing responses, but not on the digital recorder that I'm holding, but on the audio of Static Cam 2. And he used these caves as a laboratory. So Charles, first of all, can you hear my voice? Are you here? We knew that you had nice gardens outside and grew all these different exotic plants and wildflowers. And then eventually you built the house, Deepdene house. But what did you do inside these caves? Who's in charge here? Who's looking after this place? Phil and I head towards the main walkway tunnel where the escape hatch is located and where a voice and footsteps were captured on our static cam earlier.
We've moved into a section of the tunnels where the emergency exit is situated. It's situated just down there. I've got with me also the K2 meter, and we have a REM pod on the floor as well, which will obviously detect any changes in the electromagnetic field. In my first session, I asked if there was anybody here who worked here. I'm now going to ask anybody, any spirits that are here, any entities, to come and join us now, please. When Jeff was here before, he heard voices, him and Mark. They saw you as well. They saw your shadow. Can you show me that, please?
All was quiet, so we headed down to the telephone exchange room.
Okay, a very, very loud bang.
I don't know where that come from, Phil.
It was down that way somewhere. It was bloody loud though. Okay, a very, very loud bang. It would be nice if there is something here, would make themselves known.
Who the fuck is that? I noticed something move at the far end of the tunnel, and when I point my camera in that direction, I see a figure standing in the doorway. Just through here, it's where we saw the shadow figure when I was here with Mark all them years ago. And there's like a room here. Now, this room here on the left, I believe would have been the night officer's quarters. And as we got to here, this black shadow went along the wall and into there. Hello? Can anyone hear me? Are there any officers here? Still looking after this location? As it was top secret? If you can hear me, can you shout out as loud as you can, please? I can't say I'm very happy at the moment.
No?
Because I know when we saw this big black shadow go along the wall and through here, this room here was the night duty officer's room. And this goes into another room and into another room right the way down to the other end of the of this bunker. And you can't see a thing, it's just pitch darkness in front of me. Hello? Is there anyone there? Can you make a noise if you can hear my voice, please? Can you make a noise if you can hear my voice, please? Can you make a noise if you can hear my voice, please? We are about to capture a full-bodied apparition by mistake. As Phil and I are preparing to start another EVP session, I do not realise that my camera is turned on. And as I walk towards static cam 1 in the main hallway towards the escape hatch to check the battery power, the camera that I am holding captures a figure standing only yards in front of me. You can see that there is a GoPro on a tripod in front of the figure. The apparition seems to be that of a female. The face is distorted, but you can see the dress, the legs, and the feet. Is there anything that you would like to tell us? Is there something that you would like to know? If so, if you speak into this light on this device I'm holding in my hand, it will record your voice. And then we can play it back and hear what you've got to say. So is there something you would like to ask us? Whilst we are here, we would like to take the opportunity to thank you for what you did during the war. We appreciate everything that you've done. Maybe we have picked up your voice and you've been responding to us. If you have, we thank you for that. It's time for us to collect our equipment and leave. So thank you for your time. Thank you. We complete our investigation at Deepdene World War II top secret communications bunker. All of these locations that were involved in the war deserves the utmost respect and should be preserved as a reminder to everyone of the men and women that fought for our country. With the evidence that we have captured, we believe that we had made contact with Charles Howard and the other spirits that still reside here.